Yo, like, comment, subscribe. Here we go.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yo, welcome to the Phlite Zone. We are back with another edition. Flyers are in overtime right now. I am currently 30 seconds ahead of Evan, so I will not be reacting. Evan will be reacting. It is 1-1 against the Islanders in a must-win game. They have been up and down, probably one of the more inconsistent teams in Philadelphia over the past few months. It's been a little tough, but hopefully they could catch this dub tonight. If not, at least they got 1 point. Boston is hit by coronavirus land, so they won't be playing for a little bit. So now is our time to catch up in the standings. They need to get to that 4 spot. Right now they are 5 right behind Boston. I think they are 2 or 3 points away from them.
Yeah.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Body Check Wellness. It is a line of products that promote wellness, balance, and recovery by using the full potential of hemp. They come in ash checks, blends, gummies, and topicals. Use the promo code A2D for 20% off of your order at bodycheckwellness.com. We have a lot to discuss tonight, Ev. A lot to discuss.
We do. Wow.
A lot to discuss. So we're going to start the show with a little bit of Sixers talk. We're obviously going to keep you updated with the Flyers, and we got to talk about the Eagles because they are pitiful. They went from one of the main organizations, one of the best organizations that everybody wanted to come and play for, to that just being a complete hoax. We got hoodwinked. We're not that good. We were bamboozled. All of those synonyms, all of those words. That's what the Eagles are. They are just a complete mess. They're a dumpster fire. But with all that being said, they're going to be around 500, and they're going to be competing in this division with all of the money that Howie's putting on the back burner. So that's why in my opinion, you need to figure something out to compete, because you only have this year and next year until we are in absolute cap hell. Like, we thought cap hell was now. This ain't nothing, because you're going to have to pay these guys eventually. So we'll talk about the Eagles later tonight.
I'm going off on them.
Oh yeah, Evan, you told me before the show that you were about to go off on them, so I can't wait. That'll be maybe an hour from now. But for now, we got to talk about my boy. What's up with my boy?
What is up with your boy, Jimmy?
Ben Simmons is going to fold in the playoffs on the offensive side of the ball. Agree or disagree? I don't know yet.
What do you mean, uh-oh? What do you mean, uh-oh?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, what the hell happened? All right, I'm just going to go on and say, oh, my, are you fucking serious, dude? Oh, my God. All right,
Turnover and overtime.
Flyers, it's a Flyers. The Flyers are really on nerves. Haven't really watched a full game in a month now. So
Farabee turned it over in the defensive zone.
Oh, my God.
And Bolivier wrapped it around right past
the fans in front of the team that beat you in the playoffs. Come on, you got a little bit on the line, right? Guess not.
They got 1 point out of it.
Oh. Yeah, we did.
Penguin Man celebrating on the Islanders bench. He looks just like the Penguin from Batman.
Wow.
Yep, I agree.
But yeah.
Sorry. So let's get back to the poll. We could talk about the Flyers for another day. They're abysmal. Yeah. They're almost as bad as the Eagles.
Yeah. Ben Simmons little struggles lately against the Knicks. The two against the he played against the Knicks, but okay.
They won.
Ben Simmons.
They won.
Yeah, he won. But it's the Knicks, not the Nets. Are you telling me, like, if Ben Simmons were to miss those 2 clutch free throws in the clutch, that's not going to happen, because then they're going to go down and shoot a 3, whether it's Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, or James Harden. One of them's getting. and we're not playing the Knicks in the playoffs, or if we do, I really don't care about those lower seed teams because I think we can beat them. We have Joel and all that, but Ben Simmons still has to step up. He still has a lot to prove while Joel Embiid's still out for maybe a whole nother week or two. We really don't know with him. Tom, I don't know.
Tom, he's a hater of Ben Simmons.
You had a couple videos
He's
about
a Ben Simmons hater.
You had a dude. Nah.
Ben Simmons slander. It's accepted on one half of the show, but not the other.
Yeah. Tom, you came out with a few videos that I was listening to that you're cutting, giving Ben Simmons some shit. So I don't really know. I kind of like those videos. I like those. I reposted those. But
the poll is he going to fold offensively on the offensive side of the ball in the playoffs?
Offensively, I don't know that he will have that many touches, honestly. Because if you've seen him recently, he's not the same Ben Simmons we saw a couple of years ago when Embiid got hurt, or last year when Embiid got hurt. Right? He had a couple 40-point games, couple 30-point games. Come on, you can't do that again.
I got Mr. Korkmaz in the chat right now. Your son's doing well, Greg. Your son's doing well.
Another thing, Jimmy, you can't hate on Ferk, dude. You gotta stop hating on that man, because that man will drop more than Ben Simmons every night if he has to. If he played the same amount as Ben Simmons played, he'll score more points.
Stop.
Maybe not defense. Maybe not better on defense.
He's more inconsistent than the Flyers team all put together.
Stop.
He is. If he's in the playoff rotation, we're fucked.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
That's why we need to add pieces. That's why we need to talk about this tonight. The trade deadline's Thursday. And there's a lot of Kyle Lowry slander in HEB radio. I kind of see it from everybody's perspective, but at the same time, I feel like Kyle Lowry is a piece that we will need. And I'm willing to give up picks. I'm willing to give up Maxey. I'm willing to give up Furkan. I'm willing to give up Mike, the regional manager. I'm willing to give up all those guys for Kyle Lowry.
Like Scott out of here, dude. He was not the player from 2 years ago. He's just bad. He's just bad. He might be honestly the worst player in the rotation.
Tom, Kyle Lowry. I'm just saying.
Get a wheelchair for. Nah, man. I think Kyle Lowry. I think Shake Milton has proved a little bit here and there that he has that flashiness enough to maybe not have the role as a Kyle Lowry would on the Sixers, but he shows flashes. So I think just having Kyle Lowry out there is going to take away from the ball handling of Shake Milton. So it's just who you trust. Who do you trust in the playoffs?
Yeah. What's up, Brian?
What's up, Brian?
Bill, we will get to the bet on the second half of the portion of the show tonight.
I don't want to talk about that.
Very excited.
I don't want to talk about that.
Two games into the bet, and my boy Ben hit a three.
A pointless 3-pointer that made me even hate him. That made me hate him more. That made me hate him more. Just think of it this way: we're gonna twin. We saw how nice that shot was. Why can't you shoot that all the time?
We are gonna twin. I ordered my Carson Wentz Colts jersey. It's coming. UPS just sent me an email. It's shipping right now. Yeah. It's shipping right now. And you made a bet. You said that Ben Simmons will not hit a three. I bet you that he would. And just to clarify the bet right now, this was the bet. If Ben Simmons hit a three while Joel Embiid was out, Evan would have to buy a Carson Wentz Colts jersey and wear it on the show until I said he had to take it off. If he were not to have hit a three, I would have had to bought a Jalen Hurts Eagles jersey and wear it on the show until Evan told me to take it off.
Mm-hmm.
That was the bet.
Mm-hmm.
So we will talk about maybe replacing it with something else, maybe giving you a punishment, or you could just take it and buy the Carson Wentz jersey and we could be twins. Just that simple.
I know you love your boy Wentz, but I might just say it's on back order for the next couple months.
Pay up. Pay up.
Make the purchase, Evan.
Make the purchase. That's a bet. Listen to Mr. Korkmaz.
Man, after what happened to that one kid, that Geo kid, I don't even want to wear a different team's jersey. The Philly media is crazy. Philly media is crazy. If I wore that, they'd probably send me death threats. They'll probably knock on my college dorm room right now and I don't know. Philly fans are nuts.
Yeah. All right. So Ben Simmons, I disagree to the poll. I disagree. I think he's just going through a little slump right now. I think that happens with everybody, especially with a 24-year-old kid that has an ego, the way that Ben Simmons has his ego. I think once the games start to matter, each and every year he's waking up. Last year it was the bubble. I just didn't believe in the bubble, especially the NBA bubble. Felt like everything that happened there was just fake in a way. It just wasn't 100% there. You can't have a playoff series without having that away crowd, like having to deal with the home crowd or whatever.
Yeah.
So once the playoffs do happen, I think Ben's going to take a step. I think he's going to stay aggressive. I feel like he hasn't been as aggressive as he has shown before the playoff break. But I do have faith that he will step up. And Tom was saying it during that live reaction of the Bucks game when he just nailed that three-pointer right in whoever's face it was. And it was just wet. It was just pure cotton. And to see that, and it looked like a good jumper, like a legitimate jumper.
Yeah. I think that just made matters even worse.
Well, yeah. But what if he's hiding it until the playoffs start? What if he's hiding the film?
Jamie,
whenever he gets
4 years, then where was this during the playoffs against the Celtics?
He was a rookie. He was 21.
Does it matter?
He was 21.
Why the hell would he hide it? That's the dumbest.
He was 21 years old because I don't think he had it then.
Nah, dude, no way. Hiding it.
Guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you're watching. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe.
Nah, bro, he's not hiding anything. He can't shoot an elbow jumper from a couple feet away.
Dude, I'm not making. I'm telling you straight up that he's not performing well right now.
And this is the most important time to perform well. When your MVP is out, you have to perform well, especially if you're getting if you're getting paid that much.
He lost one game. He lost one game since Joe left. One game, and that was against the Bucks, who had their full arsenal of players. And we all know that game was a gimme for the Bucks. I hate blaming referees, but the referees put them back in that game, and unfortunately, the Sixers didn't make the shots. And instead of making shots, they made turnovers. But it shouldn't have came down to that. The referees put the Bucks back into that game. Every foul that Giannis was getting, Ben was not getting. And that's just simple. I'm going to hold myself. Yeah, right? Your boy Tobias missed free throws. It didn't even have.
My boy Tobias has more clutch games than Simmons had.
Yeah, yesterday.
I mean, against the Knicks, he was the one.
The referees, just like the referees gave the.
He's the only reason why we won, Jimmy.
No. Just like the referees gave. Just like the reason
why we. He's the reason why we won the Knicks game yesterday, and the Knicks game, the last game, and he was playing great. His defense
he's the reason why it went into overtime and leaned on the refs.
Nailed the three that Ben would never do. Continue. Go ahead.
Ben's stroke is better than Tobias' stroke. Paul.
Stop.
It is.
Stop, dude. That's insane. That is actually insane.
You're looking at Ben Simmons' jump shot. The jump shot that he should whenever he legitimately takes a three, it's nothing but net. You can't argue with me there. It's nothing but net. And then when Tobias is either a builder.
Why won't he do it now, though?
I'm telling you, it's something in his head. It's something with his ego.
You mean hide it? Were you joking when you said he was hiding it?
I think there's a layer to his game that he does not want to show until the games matter.
That's just sketchy. I don't know. That's just sketchy.
They've lost one game without Joel Embiid since since the injury came out.
I mean, they were up by 20 at one point. So I know they're on a back-to-back. I know. But Ben went from defending Giannis to 6 points at halftime to Giannis ending up as scoring the most points. He had 33 points.
That's a lot of factors.
You give him all the credit in the beginning, but you don't want to give him.
No, that's a lot of factors.
Yeah, I mean the defense played great in the every player played great. Danny Green was playing great defensively. You had Matisse Thybulle getting steals Bias Harris, everybody was on. But after that,
Yeah.
I'm not going to put it on Ben, too. I'm not going to put it on Ben. Tobias, he's got to step up. That game against the Knicks, he did step up, but he wasn't.
Right.
He should have made those free throws, and we wouldn't have been in this overtime. Then we wouldn't have been.
And he shouldn't have let Julius Randle just baby him on a step back three to tie the game.
They were babying each other all game. They were.
Or have the hands of number 19 of the Eagles on an inbounds pass. Literally bounced right off his shoulder. It was at his shoulder. It bounced right off his shoulder.
Dude, I text you. It reminded me of watching Carson Wentz underthrow his receivers.
I got the text.
I know you hate that.
I got the text.
You hate that.
I got the text. It was a violation.
When he was running, so Rieger was running. He threw it behind him. No, dude, he hit him right on the face. He hit him right on the face.
Literally, the last 2 games you texted me something like just Ben hate, and I just respond with clap your hands because we win the game, because he plays defense, because he does what he has to do to win the game.
Wow. Oh man.
10% from the field, fire, and then you had to do 20 with the asterisk because it was actually 20%.
You knew what I meant. 20% from the field. That's great, man. Good for Ben. At least he made one, right?
Yeah, a lot of people are disagreeing to this poll.
Yeah, and I can see why people want to disagree. I mean,
but you agree to it.
You haven't. All right, no, but I can also see why people disagree.
Okay.
Because they haven't seen this and that of Ben Simmons, but in reality, we really don't have an offensive-minded. We don't have a scorer as a point guard, and every other NBA team has a scorer as a point guard. He's just a tall dude. He's like a power forward that can defend and guard anybody he wants. That's what he is. At the end of the day, that's what he is.
And so you think he's going to turn into a 4-man once the playoffs start, when the defense tightens up, because you don't think he's going to shoot the ball?
It depends on who we play. Really depends on who we play. If we play the Nets.
I've been closely watching Ben in the half-court set. He brings the ball up and passes it to one of the wings, and he runs down to the baseline. He'll run back up to the top of the key. He'll get the ball, and he won't even look at the rim. He won't even look at it.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to start looking at the rim when he gets that ball on the second pass that he gets. And he needs to start taking that shot.
And he needs to start dunking. I've seen a few dunks, but he can't go up easy. He's been going up too easy on players. He was dunking all last year and the year before. What is that?
You're just a hater of Ben, Eric.
Is that Liverpool? You're a Liverpool fan? Don't say you're a Liverpool fan if you say I'm a hater of Ben. No way.
You are a hater of Ben.
No
you
way.
are a legitimate hater. From what you text me,
that's not hate. That's facts. If he's 20%, if he's 20% from the field, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna remind you, Jimmy, because that's your boy.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, that's your boy. So.
Yesterday at 10:26 p.m., get your boy. Get in the ball stolen by Burke.
Yeah, you got the ball stolen by
Alex
Burks, and then he missed both the free throws. Okay.
Yeah. And then 6 minutes later, Tobias missed the 2 free throws. I didn't hear a word from you.
That's because I was on delay. I was on delay, dude. You know how I was on 20 seconds for the Flyers. I was on delay. I didn't even see that. You texted. I was like, what are you talking about? And then I saw it, and I said, then I owned up to it. But I don't want to hear it. Tobias Harris he's been a great player for us. Benson, he's been producing offensively, and where spits truth, man.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm the one that made this poll. I'm the one that came up with this poll. Talked to Evan about it. I wanted to see what he thought, because as somebody who just wants to be a realist, and I know it's hard because I'm very passionate about the teams. I have the goggles on sometimes for the teams. I want to be real about this.
Mm-hmm.
He's been struggling. He's been struggling in the half-court set. And that could be because Joe's out.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we've seen him hit that shot when it doesn't matter, with hands all in his faces, it's time for him to expand that game.
Mm-hmm.
And the point of the poll is to see if he will do that in the playoffs, because He's going to fold if he doesn't have that jump shot in the playoffs. I'm sorry. The defense gets tightened up in the playoffs, and not as many calls or not as many fouls get called.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't just depend on just being aggressive and rolling to the cup, because he doesn't make that on a consistent basis as much as the other guys in the league that do have that part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this poll has came out.
And another thing with that is, all right, I'm not hating on Liverpool, bro. What is this? I'm not hating. I got 3 jerseys. I have 3 jerseys. All right. No way. Okay, but Ben Simmons, I would give him so much less slander if he was a consistent, made all his free throws. I think that would be a lot easier. If you're going up and getting fouled, at least make them. Yeah. Tom was saying yesterday, it's a free throw, not a hard throw. Make your damn free throws. I don't care who you are. The team was less than 50% from the free throw line yesterday. That's terrible. If you did that in the playoffs, you're getting eliminated. That's not going to work. And one game matters, because we saw that with the Raptors series. That one game mattered, and you got bounced. You could have won a championship, but you got bounced. So
we got 20 people watching on YouTube. We got 11 likes. Let's equal that correlation out a little bit. Hit that like button on YouTube. Hit that like button on Facebook, please, please, please. We really do appreciate that.
I was a little confused because I really didn't. The plays we were running at the end of that fourth quarter and in overtime, it reminded me of the Sixers last year when you had Dwight Howard at the top of the key, and you didn't have anybody down. Like, you just had people around the perimeter. You didn't have anybody to point in the paint. When you had more points in the paint than they did, so that's really where our game is. When you have Dwight Howard in there,
yeah. Lord Walker, I think you're coming. I think that you think that I'm a Ben hater. I'm not a Ben hater. I love Ben to death. I love Ben just as equally as I love Conor McGregor and Carson Wentz. I expect more from him now that I've seen that jump shot, and I don't think he's going to succeed offensively in the playoffs if he does not pull out that 12 to 15 foot jumper, especially at the top of the key, especially with how our offense runs. And Sam Cassell, Doc Rivers, they need to slam that in his head. They need to tell him, we are a jump shot from you away from being a true title contender. A true, absolutely, we can take the Lakers 7 games. We could take the Clippers 7 games. We could take the Nets 7 games. Mm-hmm. If he develops that jump shot, we are set, and we don't need a Kyle Lowry. We don't need a Zach LaVine. Yep. Maybe we get a Terrence Ross. Maybe we get a Bajilia, but I don't know how to say his name, from Sacramento. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe we're one of them.
I don't want Kyle Lowry anymore. I don't know if I want him. If we did get him, I'd probably be pretty happy, but I just don't think anymore that it's willing to give up. I'm not willing to give up that much for him, because you can add players like this, like Buddy Hield. You could probably trade a lot less for Buddy Hield than Kyle Lowry. It depends, but players like Wayne Ellington, Delon Wright, all these other guys, these assets that come off the bench. I think that's very important. I think our starting 5 is pretty good on the defensive side. The offensive side it can't just be on Joel. Everyone has to contribute during the playoffs. Can't be just Joel. I mean, if Joel wants it to be, so be it. So be it. Let him score 50 points a game.
But when he gets
lock him up,
when he gets 3 bodies thrown at him, that's when our other that's when the role players need.
That's when Danny Green has to step the hell up. That's when Curry has to step the hell up in the corners, because Danny Green, he had 0 points until the fourth quarter. I think he just started hitting, he just went off and hit 3 threes in a row. So, I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah. I just think you are overlooking the staggering jump in performance from Tobias this year. And if we have the league MVP, what are we complaining? I'm complaining about the fact that I don't trust the young role players to step up when we need them to step up in big time moments. Like Shake Milton's folding right now. Shake Milton's struggling just as much as anybody on the team right now. And we thought of him as a Sixth Man of the Year candidate just a month ago. He hasn't been the same since he came back from injury. And I know he did go off 2 nights ago, I think it was. He did have over 20-point performance. But he is during the Bucks game, that was a little bit of just bad hot garbage basketball by Shake Milton on the offensive side of the ball, and he's an offensive player.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think another thing with Ben Simmons, everybody he wanted to be the MVP or he wanted to be an all-star. Everyone wants to put so much into Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris wasn't an all-star. At the end of the day, Ben Simmons was an all-star. I don't know if that was just because of his defense, because it sure as hell wasn't for his offense. Because it sure as hell wasn't for his offense this year because he's not producing that much on the offensive end. But you also have Embiid who's having a career year. So it's a hard question at the end of the day. It really depends. Like you just gotta wait and see. It's a really hard poll question because I can't see in the future. I really don't know.
Philly sports. I just said that Shake did have 20 points last night or a couple nights ago, but he has been wildly inconsistent. And if he is your best bench player come playoff time, how far do you really think we're gonna go?
I just think that they're so bought on the Matisse Thybulle and the second unit. The Matisse Thybulle and Shake Milton.
The whole five.
They're sold on that because if Shake goes off, he can score 15 points, more than 15 points in the playoffs. If he's coming off your bench, he's going to be the guy who's going to be scoring. And Shake Milton's going to be your guy that's defending.
But I'll ask you this. I'll ask you this though. Who plays defense on that unit if everybody's healthy? You got Shake Milton, Matisse. Matisse is probably the only one. Shake Milton, Matisse, Furk, Mike Scott, and Dwight Howard. I only trust Matisse and Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard's a rim protector.
I honestly think you can
like Mike Scott's a tough dude, but he
Yeah.
gets called a lot. He gets called for fouls a lot.
Yeah. I think you can serve some, you can get rid of some, not get rid of, but like you can, I really don't know, Jimmy. I really don't know.
Look,
It depends.
everybody,
It's gonna be a chess match. It really is gonna be a chess match. It's depending on who's on the court. You might have Simmons still in. That Simmons, Matisse, and Shake line up, and then have Dwight come in and have Harris. But it really depends on who you have in.
mm-hmm. Dominique, that was during the bubble. That was just an unfortunate thing of events for the Clippers. But if you think Kawhi Leonard's going to let that happen 2 years in a row, I got to question your basketball knowledge, because Kawhi Leonard is a top 2 player in the league. It's not even a debate.
Yeah.
And then you add that with Paul George, and then the rim protector in
But
Zubac.
the Paul George playoff
P.
Yeah.
Playoff P.
Hasn't been the same since
We got to bring Jonathan onto the show.
Lonzo Ball. Hell no. I don't want Lonzo. I don't want baby Simmons. I don't want baby Simmons.
Yeah.
Except Lonzo is willing to shoot. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Clippers aren't going to lose to the Nuggets in 7 again. I could tell you that. And it's not going to be because of playoff P. It's going to be because of Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
It's going to be because of the
if he can, it's weird because he played. Obviously, he's playing better on the Raptors when he played, but he's still on the same level. I don't think people should be sleeping on him. Like, it doesn't matter what their record is. Once it gets in the playoffs, Kawhi is maybe the most clutch player, not it like maybe top 3 most clutch players you can really get.
Yeah.
Offensively and defensively, because Ben was having a hard time struggling against him. He's the defensive player of the year. So
some nice.
You might win. But that Giannis game, people are going to come back and look at that.
The what game?
The against the Bucks.
Oh yeah.
People are going to look at that.
The Bucks were given that game. National television game. Bucks were given that game. Mark, this is exactly why we need role players. This is exactly why we need role players. We need more consistent role players to come in during the playoffs. I don't believe in Furkan Korkmaz to play a heavy role in this offense.
He doesn't necessarily have to play a heavy role. He's going to be the guy who's going to come in.
Well, what
Green isn't producing.
What Donovan just said. Only 3 players are coming off the bench, maybe 4 in the playoffs.
So you have Dwight
Matisse. Shake. That's the thing. Do we trust Shake? Because if
I trust him. He's a pure scorer, dude. He can create his own shot and he can go to the rim.
But we need a Terrence Ross. We need a George Hill. I'd rather have those guys than a Shake Milton in the playoff rotation.
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
We're putting all of our eggs into a 22, 23-year-old's basket. It's got to be a win now mentality. It has to be. It has to be.
I agree. It does have to be, but I don't know. I do trust the vets, but maybe in the playoffs, somebody was get hurt. I have those players like Shake backing up. I don't want to trade Shake or anything, but he does have one of the best contracts in the NBA. So
I've not been delusional about Ben, John. I've not. I've told the brutal truth. I said I
don't lie.
I disagree to the poll. I disagree to the poll 110%. But if he doesn't take that 12 to 15 key jump shot, then he's going to struggle offensively. Because he's not going to be able to barrel his way into the lane and expect a call because he doesn't get that now. So what makes you think he's going to get that in the playoffs?
Nope.
You may think that he should be getting the call, but he consistently does not get the call.
Dude, so you know what they're going to do, Jimmy? You know what they're going to do? They're going to leave him open again. Remember when LeBron just left him open? He had like 10 feet in between the two of them behind the arc. Ben wasn't going to shoot that. Ben wasn't going to shoot that.
But I have faith. I have faith
in the playoffs. Or hopefully play him in the finals, right? So Ben actually starts performing because he wants to be like LeBron so bad.
Look, I have faith that he will take another step this playoff. I do have faith that he's going to add another dimension to his game this playoff.
We'll really see about that one. We'll really see about that one, Jimmy.
I'm not listening. I'm watching. I don't listen to nobody. I listen to myself and only myself. I may take some input from other people.
Wow.
But yeah, he's a hater.
Yeah.
He's a hater of Ben Simmons. It's okay.
Hey.
It's okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's actually not what I'm saying. I agree on the second part. I could really care less about that 3.
I agree with that too.
But you need that elbow jumper. You need the free throw jumper.
Yep.
You need it.
Dude, just imagine how deadly it would be with a Ben Simmons 3-point shot. I don't care if it's 20%. I don't care if it's – I know you can say that BS, whatever his 3-point percentage is right now, better than the Pacers, whatever he said a few weeks ago. But like a consistent 3-point shot. I'm not saying you have to make them all, but just that space you can have it's huge. Because it takes defensive players off what they have to do and makes you have to defend Ben even closer. And then you have Joel. Wow.
I'm watching the Flyers post game. John said it earlier in the show.
You got a hater in the chat.
You got a hater in the chat. He's a captain, baby. He's a top 5 player in this franchise.
I agree.
I may need to stay in my lane on that one because there's plenty of greats from the 70s, plenty of greats from the 80s, 90s. But he's a top 5 player in this franchise. And I don't even think it's close. I think he gets a lot of hate for just awful reasons. He's always just been put in an unfortunate situation where he's never either had a goalie, and when he finally has a goalie, he doesn't have a defense to help him.
I mean, that happens in every franchise. It happens in every franchise. So I don't know if Captain Claw will ever get a trophy. I don't know. I really don't.
I'm not talking about the Pacers. I'm talking about your boy Playoff P.
Stay quiet and agree with Jimmy.
Teams are doing that now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have been watching the half court set, and he passes it to the left or the right. He runs down to the lane. He'll stay there until he gets the ball back at the top of the key, and he's just looking for the pass. He's not pivoting and looking at the rim. And if he does that and makes that shot 4 times out of 6, that's 8 extra points that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he can make that shot because we've seen it. We've seen him improve at the line. And if he has a wide open jumper in stride at the line, you need to start taking that. You need to start taking that 8 to extra 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't take that, then that's when I agree to the poll. I agree to the poll if he doesn't start taking that shot. But I have to disagree to the poll because I feel like he will open that up. He will start opening that up when it matters.
Mm-hmm. Wow. How worthy do you think brothers like?
Hey, I always like an underdog story. I always like the players that get a lot of slander but don't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Claude Giroux, like Ben Simmons, like Carson Wentz, like Conor McGregor. 4 of those guys, three of those guys, we wouldn't have memorable moments in the city of Philadelphia without those 3 guys, whether you like it or not. Because Ben Simmons brought us out from hell.
Joel Embiid brought us out.
But Ben Simmons is a part of it. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid brought us out.
Okay.
And Joe is beloved.
Yep.
But Joe is always off the court.
Mm-hmm.
And not a lot of people talk about that. And I love Joel Embiid, but not a lot of people talk about that. And Ben Simmons just gets a lot of hate because he doesn't have that jumper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that this is the year
that every NBA player has, though. I think the people are just not used to it. It's not the 1980s where we're doing layups and stuff. Now the game has. You have to change when the game changes.
Okay, and I think a guy that was just 23 years old is going to change. I think he's going to progress. You don't start winning championships until you're 28, 29 years old in the NBA. You just don't. And I think they're both taking major jumps.
If you're in that mentality of that win now situation, that's
why I'm saying he needs to start. He needs to take that jump shot.
Yeah, he does.
He needs to see that his partner in crime, Joel Embiid, is injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
So once he comes back, you're in a great position right now to win it all this year. And Ben Simmons needs to wake up and get the ego out of his ass.
Yeah, I agree.
Without Claude Giroux, do we have that Stanley Cup run in 2010? No. Without Carson Wentz, do we win a Super Bowl? No. Without Conor McGregor, is the UFC as big as it is right now? No.
He's got glass jaw though, so
now he has glass jaw. That's the first time. That is the first time he couldn't take a punch against Dustin. It's the first time he couldn't take a punch. I was shocked.
Dustin got better. Dustin got better as his career went on.
Well, Conor owned him in the first round, and then
he did.
Dustin just
turned it on.
Went wild, and Conor couldn't take a punch.
Couldn't take. Yeah, the leg kicks for the thing. So. Wow.
Certified hater. I'm just surrounded by haters, aren't I? All right, I want to get to this. They could be. They could play in the playoffs, regular season, Sweet 16.
Hey, 1 goal in the playoffs last year, I think. For Claude Giroux, Captain Ghost.
I like this comment because by the end of both of their careers, Ben Simmons is going to be a better basketball player than Paul George. He's going to be a more accomplished basketball player, and he's going to be an overall better basketball player than Paul George. And I'd bet that. Hey, I made a bet last show, and I won. It's time for you to get that jersey. It's time for you to put it on.
I'm not betting anything else.
I'm talking about with John. I'm talking about with
okay. All right. Can you hear that music? Oh my god! Yeah,
we all understand you're in a dorm hall. We all understand.
I'm not in a prison. Stuff. Everybody laughs. I'm in prison. No, I don't think they allow this in prison.
Yeah, I mean, you got convicted for being a hater.
For being a hater of Ben, yeah, slander.
Evan Fournier, I would like that if we were to get Evan Fournier.
I do not know about Evan Fournier. I don't know. He was hurt.
He's better than your boy Furkan Korkmaz.
He's been hurt.
Just step right into that bench roll, and I take that.
He is hurt. He's got old legs. Old legs in the playoffs don't work. Saw that with JJ or your boy JJ Redick. Old legs don't work in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You need those young guys like Shake Milton. Young legs, you need that.
Yeah.
You also need that veteran role. So I still think that I don't want to get rid of Danny Green. I know he's majorly inconsistent, but his defense, it's great. He is one of the greatest defenders, in my opinion, for his height and all that.
Yeah. I got to make a personal apology to Danny Green because he's been stepping up lately, and I just hope he takes that he takes that and runs with it.
Yeah,
he's been a lot more consistent.
I mean, he has to step up, and it has to be the whole game. It can't be. I'm not 2 points in the first half. You're a starter. You're a starter, dude. You're not riding the coattails like you did for the Raptors for a couple games
and the Lakers.
And the Lakers. Oh my God! Don't even get me started.
We
Do you
need
trust Danny Green to take that last shot if it's Game 7 on the line? Are you taking Danny Green? Who are you taking last shot? Honestly, and it can't be Joel. I mean, if you want it to be Joel from 3,
fate of the universe on the line.
Fate of the universe. You need a Golladay.
I want Ben Simmons.
Dude, he'll be open. Don't worry, he'll be open, but he's not going to shoot. He's going to pass it.
Yeah,
he's going to pass it. Dude.
Taking the last shot, it's probably got to be Tobias. And I mean, obviously it's Embiid.
Yep.
But like, if you need like a knockdown 3, like even if you need a knockdown 3, why wouldn't you take Embiid?
I don't know, because I saw
like he's the best one on the roster right now.
I've seen so much of Joel Embiid last year shooting those threes, and I mean he's getting better at the threes, but
is he over 40% this year?
He's over 40%, but I want to see how many attempts though, because I don't think it's any more than 3 attempts a game, which is good because last year he was averaging more than 5 a game.
Yeah, and
most of those were bricks. Literally looked like. I don't even know what it looked like, honestly. I'm not even gonna say nothing anymore. I'm taking Harris though. Yeah. For that last shot.
A quick little Flyers point. I totally agree with this. When Artemi Panarin was in free agency and decided to go to the Rangers, I felt like we should have gone all out and gotten Panarin. I feel like Giroux next to Panarin would have been just huge for this offense. Would have just been huge.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But it didn't work out.
No, it's always those damn Giants, dude. Or it's always those damn New York teams that are taking all these players from us.
Yeah. But that's a different thing for the Eagles. Wow. Here we go with the Paul George love. Yeah, they have Lord Walker. They have. And I'm just scared that they're not going to be able to keep that up in the playoffs. I'm just scared that they'll be way too inconsistent.
Mm-hmm. And I don't really want to say the Sixers had those flashes of inconsistency. Which in the second half of that Bucks game, yeah, but that last game, our offense was terrible. Like that last half of the game of the Bucks was the same as the whole game for the Knicks. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put on some March Madness. I can't keep watching.
Yeah, New York. That's Kenny Golladay. Who is the Titans cornerback that just got signed there?
Boye?
We were supposed to have a dinner with him, but then he just got. I think it's.
He went where?
He went to the Giants.
He was a corner.
Yeah, it's.
Well, I know they've taken Golden Tate from us.
Adoree Jackson.
Yeah, Adoree Jackson. They've taken Golden Tate. They've taken Kenny Golladay. They've taken.
Wow.
Honestly, when the Knicks signed 2 years ago, they signed Taj Gibson, Marcus Morris, and Julius Randle. Mm-hmm. I wanted the Sixers to sign either Randle or Morris, but the Knicks ended up signing both of them.
Yeah.
So there's another example. They stole Panarin. The Mets stole Lindor. I feel like Lindor.
I don't think we were really ever in the running for him, but still everybody wanted him.
Yeah.
And to the hater, that was whoever's on that Instagram, that post, the Reddit. You saw that?
Yeah. That was
Instagram.
hilarious.
There was someone's burner, Nick's burner that was trying to like roast us, saying we're like a poverty franchise, talking about how the process was just a bunch of losers. Which I mean, yeah,
Like,
we had
honestly,
Brett Brown as a coach, right? We had Brett Brown.
Honestly, everything he said was so truthful,
It was,
but it was just hilarious because
but
I
it's
could
coming
tell
from a
how
Knicks
mad
fan.
he. Yeah.
It's coming from
a Knicks fan,
so you can't really say anything.
and you could just tell how mad he was. It's always the New York fans. It's always the New York fans.
And it's funny because he was saying they're a $5 billion franchise, but what do you have to show for it? You made the playoffs like 3 times in the last 20 years. They're literally like the Cowboys.
They're not even the Cowboys
the
because
rings.
they've never won.
Without the rings.
Yeah.
The Cowboys of the NFL without the rings.
So then what would that actually make them? Would that make them the Vikings?
No.
Like, you're irrelevant. We're calling you the Vikings of the NBA.
Hopefully Don's not in here, but they're the Lions. They're the Lions. They're the fucking Lions, dude. Sad. Just sad.
But this is what I'm saying. We're putting way too much faith in Shake Milton and Furkan Korkmaz.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting too much faith in Seth Curry and Danny Green. All 4 of those guys have been wildly inconsistent. So when you have 3 bodies just being thrown at Joel Embiid, and Tobias Harris is struggling because he's proven to be inconsistent in the past,
yeah,
who are you going to lean to? You're going to lean to your 7-foot freak of a point guard that is a jump shot away from being the best player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. But is he going to do it? That's the only problem. Like we've been talking about it for years, Jimmy. Last year when we were talking on the other radio show that we were on,
hang on. Luke, the Knicks are the Lions of the NBA. Go on. go
we were
on.
talking about it last year. We were so hyped because we saw Ben Simmons shooting threes during the summer. We were ecstatic vibes, man. Remember? You remember that?
I don't want him to shoot a 3.
And then we all got a taste of it against the Shanghai Tigers, against the Knicks last year, against the Cavs.
He always hits threes
against the Bucks.
He always hits threes.
Where the hell is he going to bring that in the playoffs?
He always hits threes against the Cavs.
You know, in the playoffs, I want Ben Simmons to be shooting threes now so he can have confidence in the playoffs. I don't want him to go shooting cold in the playoffs. I don't want him shooting in the playoffs. Yeah. I don't want him shooting threes in the playoffs. I don't. I'd rather trust somebody who's 38% from 3, Danny Green, Seth Curry, even Matisse Thybulle. Matisse Thybulle's been stepping up. He had a big shot yesterday. You just got to see production all around. You just got to see production.
Yeah, Villain. Lou Dort's not going to be available. Shai and Dort are probably going to be their future.
Yeah.
And then with the 10,000 picks that they have, they'll find maybe 2 people to pair with them, and then maybe a free agency, and they'll be back at it in 1, maybe 2, 3 years. D'Angelo Russell, is that? I'm assuming that's what you mean by D'Angelo.
Yeah, I hope it's not It's not one of the Ball brothers.
No.
yeah, but no, that would be nice, but what are we giving up? That's the real question. What are we giving up? I'm not giving up Matisse.
I'll give up Maxey.
I would give up Maxey. I'd give up a first-round pick and Maxey, and that's all about what I'm doing. And then obviously,
I think D'Angelo
Bradley and all the other add-ons, but I don't know.
I think D'Angelo next to Ben would be.
They do have chemistry from when they played ball together.
Yeah, but the one thing we got to worry about is the contract because D'Angelo got paid, so you might have to throw Danny Green in there.
Yeah,
and I don't think I'd be willing to do that.
I know.
I know.
Everyone's going to take this out of proportion and say, "Oh my God, you wouldn't trade Danny Green?" Yeah, no, yeah. I think the chemistry we have right now, we have the best record in basketball right now, or in not close with the Jazz, but we're in the East. So I think people just need to take Take it and run, man. This should be our year. It really should be. We just need to stop the Nets, in my opinion.
Oh, 4-year, $117 million.
No way.
So
Is that close to what Ben is getting?
put it into the trade machine right now for D'Angelo. If that's the case, there's no chance you're going to be able to get him.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Tom and I agree on many things. I feel like over the last week or so, we're kind of disagreeing on a couple things, and one of them was Danny Green. I have faith in Danny Green. I don't want to get rid of him now. Like Tom said, he's a proven winner. He plays defense, and he can knock
biggest
down
thing, the
three.
defense. Like you're gonna need him against the Nets. You are gonna need him.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he's guarding Kyrie Irving or whether he's guarding Harden, you need him.
Yeah.
You also had Tobias Harris stepping up defensively. So I don't know. We got guys putting in capital letters for every word they say in here. Harden stopper. I bet you the Harden stopper will be actually it'll be Matisse, I think.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I just hope that because Matisse gets called for shit that he shouldn't get called for.
Yeah.
So I just hope that once James Harden does his little bitchiness, that the referees don't latch onto that because that would be unfortunate.
Now, what do you think about Buddy Hield? I really liked what I saw from Buddy Hield, except for the fact that he wasn't that great in the second half of the game. He was shooting pretty well from the three, which was great to see against a very good defensive team. But it all depends on what we're really willing to get rid of. Like what you give up Maxey for him, right?
Buddy Hield?
Maxey first round pick. Would you do that or no?
For Buddy Hield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing, it's an interesting question. Do we want a guy like Buddy Hield, Kyle Lowry, or Zach LaVine, or do we want two solid role players? Because if you get the two solid role players, you don't really need to give up nearly as much as if you're going to get Kyle Lowry, Zach LaVine, or Buddy Hield. So you got to pick your poison.
Yeah.
What would you rather do?
That's a hard one. Oh. What would you do, Jimmy? I want to actually see what you do.
You know I want Kyle. I wanted Lowry from the jump. I think the 1-year rental would be great. I feel like him against Kyrie.
Yeah.
If you put him against Kyrie, you could put Matisse and Danny Green, rotate them on James Harden, and then Ben on KD. And then you actually do have that 8-man rotation, that true 7-8-man rotation.
Yeah.
Because I really don't want to mess around with the young guys experiment in the playoffs. Because I feel like it's going to come around and bite us right in the ass, and we're going to be very disappointed when our young guys don't show up, rightfully so. But I just don't think a lot of people realize that.
Yeah, I agree. I do like Buddy Hield, though. I really do. He is the threes in NBA right now, which that's a pretty intriguing fact. But Aaron Gordon, no way.
Oh, no.
Aaron Gordon, no way.
No.
Scott Maxey, nah. I would not Scott Maxey for Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
And a pick, no way.
Well, I don't care.
Aaron Gordon just dunks, dude.
I give up every pick that we have over the next 5 years to try and win a title.
See, that's so risky, though.
Why?
Because the Nets did the same thing. They're putting all their eggs in one basket at the same time we are. And you told me earlier that Ben Joel need to be in their prime.
The Nets did that for aging Paul George and aging Kevin Garnett. We'd be doing that for rentals to go with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid.
The rentals that it really depends. Are they winning rentals? Do they know how to win?
Lowry knows how to win.
He does.
And that's the one that I want from the jump. I don't want Aaron Gordon.
No, I don't either.
I think Zach LaVine would be a good fit next to Ben.
Who would you give up still?
Well, that's when his contract ends, so it'd be to sign him. And
okay.
I think the cap is
yeah,
going to go up, so you will probably have room to sign him. I don't know how much he'd be wanting. He's probably going to get a max offer.
The Bulls will definitely offer him something. I mean, because they need a player. They need a player to fill that. To fill like you need at least one great player on your team, right? Unless you want to be like the Sixers. Nobody was at those games. Everyone. I mean, the Bulls fans love Zach LaVine, and it seems like he wants to stay there from many things before, but you never know. Bradley Beal's still he might be on the market. You never know. I think something's gonna happen with him. It's been a little bit too quiet.
Disagree. I think Ben will stay aggressive. Yeah, I think he's going to stay aggressive. I just don't think he's going to be getting the calls. And if he's not getting the calls, you need to make sure that he stays consistent enough to make those layups. And if he's not making those layups, that's what I'm saying. He needs to be able to pull up when he gets that ball in the key, when he gets the ball at the top of the key.
Yep.
Or when he gets the ball in the baseline. It's inevitable at this point. It's inevitable if you want to be able to win a championship game.
Another reason why that wouldn't work is because the Magic have a ton of point guards, and Maxey would never get playing time, or maybe he would, but that wouldn't happen. So.
They'd have Carter Williams, Tyrese Maxey, and Markelle Fultz, and Cole Anthony.
Yeah, that's not. No way that's gonna happen. No way.
I don't think they need front court help because you got Dwight Howard.
The 4 is, I mean, unless they're switching Simmons to put him at 4 and then have Shake come in and play the 1.
Well, you're always going to have at least
that big of a deal.
Yeah, you're always going to have Tobias or Ben on the court, and you're always going to have one of them on the court with either Dwight or Joe. Now the question is, do you want to get another backup 5 just in case Joe can't play? Because do we believe in TB 11? Is that his number?
Dude, that guy. I was having high hopes for him. I saw that one game against the Bulls. I was like, wow. He's been taking lessons from Embiid, but now he's taking lessons from Amir Johnson, scoring 0 points a game. Dude, that was disgusting. It was the few last games he had, they were bad. Which makes you think maybe we should go buy out Drummond or something like that, but I don't know. Everyone and their mother wants Drummond too, so.
If we want D'Angelo Russell, we would have to give up Danny Green, Seth Curry, Mike Scott, and then probably Tyrese Maxey and picks. And then we'd probably have to get D'Angelo Russell, Hernan Gomez, and then maybe Jake Layman to match up the rosters. But that's how the money would work. So you're talking about giving up 2 of your starters, Mike Scott.
Wait, who would the starters be again?
Seth Curry and Danny Green.
Danny Green, okay.
That's not worth it. That's not worth it at all. So no to D'Angelo Russell.
And
it was a fun.
Another thing is, like, I just hope Seth Curry can go back to where he was in the beginning of the season. We were like, wow, Ben and Curry, like Ben was dishing it to him, and he was hitting every single shot. But something's gonna happen.
Somebody brought up Seth. Who is Curry gonna go playoff Rondo? Who is Curry gonna guard when we play the Nets?
Probably Joe Harris.
Probably Joe Harris, but that's if he's still in the starting line.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be. I mean, he is hurt now, and he has an ankle sprain. That's usually kind of a bad injury. But I really don't know. I can see him coming off the bench, though. Definitely.
Look,
you need a spark off the bench. You can bring him in.
I'm torn. I'm torn between what I want to do with this roster because I really do feel like we're a Kyle Lowry away from being true championship contenders. But at the same time, this starting 5 is good together. They really are.
Yep.
And if you were to solidify the bench, not replace Shake, but take a little bit of pressure off of Shake to not just be the only scorer coming off the bench.
Yep.
If you were to get a Terrence Ross or a George Hill or both, if you were to get Terrence Ross and George Hill, I would be glad with that. I would be fine with that. Have both of them come off the bench.
Yep.
Maybe insert George Hill into the lineup and take Curry and put him on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have those two guys, add them to this roster, I like that because you got those two guys that'll come off the bench with Dwight Howard and Matisse, and then Shake as a platoon in baseball terms.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a solid roster.
Yeah. Okay. 3 guards is not going to get you a ring. I'm not too obliged to that. Their small ball game is weak. We saw that yesterday they had like Mike Scott playing like center or something like that. So,
their small ball game, when they have Joel Embiid,
teams
are going to have to adjust not have to play small ball.
Yeah, they won't.
That second half, we tried to play the Bucks game, and that's another reason why we lost that game because we switched up games. That's not our game. Our game isn't small ball.
We have the most point. I think we have top 5 most points in the paint, as well as points beyond, not on the arc, but right because you have Joel will take a million shots and make them right from that mid range. So their game is very effective in the paint, especially when you have Dwight Howard coming off the bench. I think it's
What do you think about this West Coast trip? I'm going to read it off to you right now. You got at the Warriors tomorrow.
Yep.
You got at the Lakers Thursday. You got at the Clippers Saturday. You got at the Nuggets next Tuesday, and then you got the Cavs next Thursday. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games.
So which one is the first one? Like
Warriors.
Okay. Is this the Warriors with Curry? Is Curry playing?
Curry will play.
Okay.
I think Ben puts Curry in the clamp machine.
So does TJ McConnell.
So does TJ McConnell. But unfortunately, we don't have TJ McConnell. I say W against the Warriors. It's literally going to be Steph Curry versus the Sixers.
Yeah. And
it's a shame that Steph's not going to
play.
play.
The Grizzlies just beat Steph Curry. So I'm not going to.
So 1-0. 1-0 there.
Yep.
Now you got the Lakers without LeBron.
Without AD.
That's a win.
Is that a back-to-back game?
What's tomorrow? Tuesday? Tomorrow's Tuesday. It's not a back-to-back.
Okay.
So you got the Lakers. You got a day rest, and then you got the Lakers. That's 2-0.
Yep.
You got a date against the Clippers Saturday.
No. I don't think so.
Now,
Paul George.
If one of them decide to take a rest, maybe, but let's just mark it off as a no.
Yeah.
2-1. Then you got the Nuggets. Jokic and Murray. I think Ben shows up that game. I think they're going to take the loss against you're going to have 2 days rest. You're going to have Sunday and Monday off. And then you have the Nuggets.
Yeah. Embiid might be back against the Nuggets. I'm not really sure, but I don't think we should rush Embiid back.
No.
Especially if they're playing like this.
Yeah.
Why would you rush?
Yeah.
Why would you rush?
Yeah, and the Nuggets aren't the Nuggets are 25-17. They're hot as of late. They're 8-2 in their last 10. But they hadn't been doing that well this year.
Yep.
They're 5th in the West. Mm-hmm. We're 1st in the East by a game without the MVP.
Yep.
I think I'm going to mark that as a dub. 3-1.
Okay.
And then you come back to the East Coast and play the Cavs on a Thursday. We always struggle against the Cavs.
We struggle against the Cavs.
They're a very fast team, but at the same time, I think we could keep up with their speed because Joel Embiid slows us down a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe Ben takes over that game as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to predict an L against the Cavs. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do that.
That's terrible. Shout out Donovan for the $5. Appreciate it. They ruled out Curry on Tuesday. Okay. Curry won't be playing against his brother.
Appreciate that, Donovan.
Time for B-ball Paul Reed, the MVP of the G League, to step up. Hopefully he gets some minutes.
Keith Pompey. All right, so I'm going to go 4-1. I might have the Philly goggles on. I don't care. This team is playing really well. They have become a really, really good regular season team.
Mm-hmm. As long as they don't play like they did
in the second half against the Bucks.
Yeah, against the Bucks and that game against the Knicks, which they did win.
Which they still won. They
still won, but
the one thing about
this
this team, the one thing about this team and this roster, and I know that I'm one of those guys that wants to just blow up this roster, add 2 or 3 more guys because I don't trust the young guys. But the one thing about this team, and I think it has a lot to do with the coaching staff, and it has a lot to do with players like Danny Green, Dwight Howard, and Tobias Harris, and Mike Scott. They can win any type of game. They can win a low-scoring game like they did yesterday, or they can win a shootout. They can win any game in between, and they do that by playing their type of basketball. That's something that we got to start talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 4-1 on this road trip.
I agree.
Steph is a defensive liability.
I mean, so is almost every point guard and every shooting guard is usually a defensive liability,
except for our point guard.
Yeah. I mean, is Kyrie Irving going to be playing that great defense on Seth Curry? He doesn't play that great defense unless you're Eric Bledsoe or you're Ben Simmons or Drew Holiday. Like, you're not going to be playing great defense, especially when you're only 6 foot. So
now this is interesting from Lord Walker because we have not talked about this. If it involves Terrence Ross for Danny Green, are you taking it?
What's Ross's 3-point percentage? Do you know?
It's high. He's
higher than Green's.
He's a scorer. He can score at a way more consistent rate than Green does, but he plays no defense.
Okay.
And I don't want to do the James Ennis experiment again.
Yeah, no.
Unless that's Dylan Ennis, but I don't think that is Dylan Ennis.
Yeah, no. Especially, you got to get – I hope we really get somebody in the power forward position on the buyout. I know, like you said, it wasn't that big of a deal, but I hope we get somebody because you're going to need a bigger body come playoff time, I feel. But I don't know if I really don't know if I do because if you asked us this like 3 weeks ago, we would have said hell yeah. But Green has stepped up defensively and offensively. So for this reason, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
the only thing I'm trading a player like that for is guys who aren't going to play during the playoffs and picks like Maxey and a pick, but not for a starter. No way. Danny Green's 3-point percentage is 40.
Yeah, it is, but he's not a scorer like Terrence Ross is. That's the only part of this conversation that we have to talk about. I'd rather keep Green.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep Green and buy somebody else out.
Yep.
Because you can buy out a scorer.
The thing is with the Sixers, that's what makes our team great, the defense.
Yeah.
If you go and get another offensive player, you're just going to be like the Nets. Like
if you could get a Wayne Ellington, you could get a George Hill.
You
could add them to the playoff rotation.
You don't blow up your roster.
Unless it's Kyle Lowry.
I don't know.
Or
you don't know. Like I said earlier, like with Maxey and the picks, yes, but I'm not trading him for a starter. I don't know.
Yeah, the West Coast trip, they should come out 3-1, especially with Curry being out, especially with LeBron and AD being out.
Yep.
And then you have to split between the Clippers and Nuggets. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. Especially the Nuggets, dude. I hate losing against them.
Yeah.
You already know everyone's going to – if they win and Jokic has a good game against Tony Bradley, they're going to say, oh, Jokic MVP. It's insane.
Yeah. That was a fun Sixers talk.
Yeah.
The poll was Ben Simmons is going to fold in the playoffs on the offensive side of the ball. Agree or disagree? I disagree to an extent. If he doesn't have that 12 to 15 foot jumper, it is a strong possibility that he will fold on the offensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm. And I really want to – what's the definition of fold? Are you saying like –
averaging 13 points or less? Because you're going to need more than 13 points.
You need 15 to 7. I know it's a 2-point difference, but you need – if you're not going to have the points up, you need the rebounds up significantly.
The assists up and the steals up.
Obviously, yeah, and the steals. Yeah, he shows that, but just the scoring, he has to score. He has to find a way to score. Because no point guard in the NBA is getting that money and scoring 10 points a game.
Jesus Christ.
You can say I'm a hater all I want.
I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with you.
All right.
He needs to get that jump shot in the playoff. He needs to.
He needs to, but will he?
It doesn't need to be a 3, but he needs to.
We'll
and
see.
when it comes to the playoff rotation, if you can't absolutely land a guy like Kyle Lowry, and I don't want Buddy Hield. I don't want to give up the roster for Buddy Hield. I don't really want to give up the roster for Zach LaVine. But I would give up the roster for Kyle Lowry. I would. And if you won't do that, then fine. You need to add 2 more solid, consistent role players in order to compete this year, because you need to go all out this year. You need to. And this road trip, you need to go 4-1.
It's going to say a lot. It's going to say a lot. This road trip right here is going to say a lot about the team, especially if they're getting open looks and not making them. That's when we'll see, damn, we should have made a trade, but it's going to be too late. So it's really, you got to trust in Daryl Morey at the end of the day.
Danny Green,
he's doing, but
Danny Green has to start. He has to start. Seth Curry is the one that you throw a question mark, but Danny Green has, especially when we play the Nets.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it really wouldn't make sense to have Matisse, Thybulle, and Danny Green out there, right?
I mean, unless Matisse is shooting the 3 ball.
I haven't seen too much Matisse, but he is recently getting better at it. But I just don't. I'd rather have Curry and Matisse coming out rather than Danny Green and him. So I don't know.
So what? Let's say we don't get Kyle Lowry. You would have Ben Simmons, maybe George Hill at the 2, Danny Green at 3, Tobias at 4, Joe at 5. And then your bench would probably look like a Shake, Seth, Matisse, Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
And then if you if you're scared to have Shake as that consistent scorer off the bench, then you add another scorer.
Yeah.
In his role. And then you put Shake as the emergency guy if anybody were to get hurt.
Yeah.
To insert into the rotation.
I can see that happening. I really could. So we'll see. My entire bench except Matisse.
You did get a fresh cut, F.
Did $10. $10 cut. I think I made out pretty well.
Oh my god. I will trade my entire bench except Matisse for Zach LaVine, period.
They want Zach LaVine, or they want Matisse though, so but I'm not giving it. I don't know about that.
Just a very with the way the contract
worked out. At the end of the day, he's going to the Bulls, so it's not like he's going to the Nets. He's going to the Bulls, but still, he's that guy. When Ben Simmons is off the court, he's that guy who's going to play defense.
Stop, Ben. I'd rather have Furkan Korkmaz in the rotation than James Ennis.
He was so inconsistent. He was more inconsistent than Furk.
Dude, he had his moments. I'm not gonna lie. He had his moments, but he also had his bad moments.
Yeah, like in the playoffs, usually bad moments.
Well, he was the 6th man. He was the 6th man in the playoffs.
He was the 6th man because
he was the 6th man on that atrocious bench.
Consistent 3-point shot. He would have started on no other team.
I said it last week in the Game 7 against the Raptors. Our bench put up 8 points in an 8-man rotation, and James Ennis was the 6th man. And he was supposed to be our scorer coming off the bench. No. Furkan Korkmaz will find the rim more than that. Every blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
The guy on the right, never walk alone. Question: who's your favorite player? Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's my favorite player.
This is a soccer-free zone.
No, it is. No. No.
All right. We got to transition into the Eagles.
We do.
Because we got to talk about just the absolute hot garbage that they're giving us every time they open their mouth. Every time they repack contracts to go to the following year or 2 years ahead of time. It's time for us as Eagles fans to realize that we aren't a good franchise. We never really were a great franchise. Andy Reid made us relevant,
Mm-hmm.
and we have an owner that is a Jerry Jones-esque type of owner.
Yep.
And we're finally starting to realize that.
Mm-hmm.
They suck. Nobody wants to come here and play for us. We offered JuJu
Yeah.
Smith-Schuster the world and back, and he
Mhm.
decided to stay with the Steelers on a 1-year prove-it deal.
Yep.
We offered him an immense amount of guaranteed money, and he declined.
Mhm.
It just shows me that nobody wants to play for us. And yes, we did sign Anthony Harris. Huge signing for this year. Don't misconstrue my words. I think that we have a legitimate chance at getting into the playoffs this year with a bad record in a bad division, because we have a lot of veteran guys that still have gas left in the tank, and as long as they stay healthy, we have a shot at being a good football team.
Yep.
But besides those veterans, who do we have after they retire? We have nobody.
Yep.
Go ahead. You could go on your little rant, your little spiel.
So the Sixers, we lost out on Golladay and Smith-Schuster. I think half of it is the money, and the other half is what are the players going into? Are the players going to go into a franchise that is a complete shithole right now, which is the Eagles, or are they going to go into a young contending team like the Giants? The reason why JuJu Smith-Schuster turned down all that money to come here, he probably had the most money coming here, right? But if we were a little bit more of a better franchise, he'd come here. But he feels like he has something to prove. He still has something to prove, and he'll go out and he'll ball out for the Steelers and probably get a not a max, but like some decent money from them next year if he balls out. But you really can't expect all these players. We expected Golladay. We expected maybe a signing like that, but I think
Jackson.
we were never even close. We restructured all these people for absolutely nothing. We really did. And if you didn't, if they felt like they had, I feel like they think they had a chance. The Eagles, I think they had a chance, but in reality, who the hell wants to come here? Who? You restructured all those guys, but for no fucking reason whatsoever. Really, because all that cap money is gonna be gone, but you're not gonna have as much next year or the year after that.
2023 is going to be a tough year. Like we thought this year was going to be hell in the cap, and it was. We were only able to sign Anthony Harris and a couple of special teams players, and that's about it. You could maybe still go out and get another wide receiver and maybe fix it, but everybody begging for a Chase and a Pitts, I really don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know.
I don't think we're going to get Chase. I don't think we're going to get Pitts. I don't think we're going to get Smith. I don't even think we're going to get Surtain. I truly believe, and I'm not saying I agree with this, I truly believe we're going to get a quarterback in the first round. And from how he's been saying in the press conferences, I just don't see how we can't we can't overlook the fact that if they like Trey Lance, they're going to draft Trey Lance. If Justin Fields is right there at 6, what makes you think that Howie and Jeffrey aren't going to say, oh, look at what he did in the semifinal playoff game? He was a real proven winner. Let's add him to the factory.
Please, no. Please. Ohio State quarterbacks, I don't trust any of them. I don't think one Ohio State quarterback has been even close to a championship in the last 20 years.
I mean, Cardell Jones, but
man, I don't trust any of them like that. Recently, there hasn't been any Ohio State quarterbacks that have been good.
Yeah.
So
you got Kenny Golladay, who went to the Giants. Corey Davis went to the Jets. Curtis Samuel went to Washington. Aguilar went to New England. You kind of probably tried to get Marvin Jones, but he's in Jacksonville.
Yep.
You got all these guys. All of these guys got signed.
Yeah. I mean, you still got Golden Tate. Still got Golden Tate, but he's old, so you're not getting no Golden Tate from the Seahawks. If you're getting Silver Tate. That's who you're getting. So we'll see. We'll really see about that.
Well, they didn't upgrade at receiver, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be drafting a receiver.
Yeah, and
Like
and
maybe
Sirianni
they'll draft
said
one later.
today- Sirianni just said today he was happy with the group he has right now. He's happy. Just wait until the Eagles fans are calling for your head in a few months. Just wait. Then he's gonna want somebody else. So
Justin Fields stinks. Does he stink as much as Jalen Hurts?
stop.
I'm just asking. Does he stink as much as Jalen Hurts? Like you're doing all of this for what? You're doing all this restructuring for what?
Yeah.
To have an experiment at quarterback this year?
Yeah.
Like you drafted Jalen Hurts as an insurance policy because you thought your franchise guy was injury prone, right?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't draft him to be a starter. You didn't draft him to be a starter in year 2.
Nope. But
because he wasn't supposed to be a starter in year 2.
It just so happens like Carson Wentz didn't the whole team didn't do what they were supposed to do. And it usually all fell on the coach, it all fell on Wentz. It just happened. I don't know. It happened so quick, Jimmy. We're really looking forward to this year though with Wentz, weren't we?
I'm an Eagles fan. I'm an Eagles fan for life. I will stick with them no matter what. But the way this franchise has just gone over the past 3 years, they're making it really hard. They're making it really hard. It's become a really toxic relationship. But hey, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? Just stop being a fan? No, you can't stop being a fan. But this draft, I feel like a lot of people in Philadelphia are going to get disappointed. A lot of people in Philadelphia are going to get disappointed.
Yep.
And then we'll be talking all summer. We'll be talking all training camp. We'll be talking all throughout the preseason, all the way up until week 1. They'll probably win week 1. And then they'll be –
Oh, dude, if we win week 1, they're all going to be like, oh, I thought we were going to be bad. And then we're going to go like 1-5. And then you're
– No, I don't think we're going 1-5.
No, we're gonna have a
I legitimately think this team is going to be in playoff contention. I truly do. I
don't know about that, Jimmy. I want to be optimistic. Remember how we talked about being optimistic with the Eagles? I don't know if I'm that optimistic. If they don't draft a wide receiver or Pitts, I don't know. I really don't know because that's something we need. We need a player like Chase. We just need that. We need impact.
We do need a player like Chase, but I don't think they're going to draft him. If you draft a Surtain, you got a decent ass secondary.
Yeah,
but I don't think they're going to do that. They have a pick at 6. They want to draft. They want to go under the radar and draft somebody that they think and only they think can help this team win football games.
Mm-hmm.
The new mantra of the Novacare complex is competition. That's all they've been saying is competition.
Yep.
Well, guess what? You only have one quarterback on the roster right now.
Yep.
So there's no competition there.
You got Joe Flacco coming. You got Joe Flacco. All right. Question for you. You probably already know what I'm going to say. Nick Foles. You bringing Nick Foles back? If they were to trade, if they wanted to trade, would you bring him back? Might as well just bring Doug Peterson back, right?
Nick Foles.
Would you?
I mean,
as backup quarterback, would you bring back Nick Foles, or do you think it'll be too much pressure on Jalen Hurts? What do you think?
You got to give me a second to think about this because I think it would be almost as stupid as drafting Jalen Hurts where you drafted him, bringing back Nick Foles, because the same exact shit will happen. The moment Jalen Hurts loses a football game or throws an interception, everybody's going to be screaming, it's time to put in Nick Foles. And then you're going to have a QB controversy. But on the same token, I don't think Jalen Hurts is that good to begin with. So you won't really be hurting anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm trying to say? Now, if Carson Wentz was still your quarterback and you wanted to bring Nick Foles in, then that would be an issue.
Yeah.
Because the moment Carson throws an interception, it'd be like, oh, time to put in Nick.
Yeah. I just feel like that's half of it is the fans. More than half of it is the fans. That's in the Philly media. They kill these players, man. You got to be tough. You really got to be tough. Jalen Reagor was talking about a few weeks ago how the Philly fans were just on him, saying all this like about
rightfully so.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. We should have drafted Jefferson and all this, but I'd bring back Foles before Wentz. Would you bring back Wentz? It's too late. We're not.
I would, but I know that the only way that Carson Wentz will ever be anywhere near Philadelphia is if he has an away game. Is if the Indianapolis Colts have an away game at Lincoln Financial. That's the only. Yeah. But hell, Wentz maybe even stay back. He might stay. He might take the week off if he has to come to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I don't think Carson Wentz will ever want to come back to Philadelphia.
No, I don't blame him. Though. I really don't blame him. With the media is so toxic towards him. I hate.
Oh yeah.
I really do. This is why ATD is great because we're not like them.
We tell it for how it is. We tell it for how it is. We give our honest opinions.
We're not agenda. We're not clickbait.
No notes.
No notes. We're not clickbait. Get that shit out of here.
And this is another thing that I want to add to my point. I don't just want to run Jalen Hurts out of town. Yep. My only point is you're doing all of this restructuring of the contracts just to have an experiment at quarterback this year. I think the Philadelphia Eagles organization realizes that. They realize that they're doing all of this to try and compete right now this year and maybe even next year. But once those vets have thrown in the towel and you have the millions upon millions of dollars that you got to throw at them at the back end of the contract, what are you going to do then? That's why you need a solid quarterback right now.
I agree.
To run this roster. And the real question is Jalen Hurts that quarterback? I don't think he is.
You don't think, but you haven't seen a full season of him, so you can't really judge him. You can't. You can't judge him.
I can judge the 4 games that I saw.
It's 4 games.
I could judge
4 games.
I could judge the game against Taysom Hill at the Link in the freezing cold. Where he was depending more on his legs than his arm.
We'll see.
I could talk about the Cardinals game where he put us in a hole real quick and then had to fight his way back against a soft zone defense. I could talk about how he put up 3 points in 3 quarters against the worst defense in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
I could talk about the fact that he went 8 for 20 before getting benched.
Stop.
I'm just
give him a chance.
Even you sent me an Instagram post. I think NBC Philly put it up. They put up his rushing stats.
Yeah.
As opposed to his throwing stats.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did we draft a running back or did we draft a quarterback? and these rushing stats were at the end of the game.
Mm.
Like, you're doing all this contract bullshit just for what?
It's for nothing. It's really just for show. I think they thought,
and that's why I think
big receiver. They thought they would land that big receiver, but we didn't.
Now they're screwed.
They are screwed,
and they did this to themselves. They really did. They did this to themselves. I don't blame Carson for wanting out, and Carson wanting out and forcing him way out, it killed them. So
yeah.
March Madness has just been abysmal. I've lost so much money this weekend.
Yeah, I'm. There's no perfect brackets left, so I think that's you and everybody else. So I was really hoping Rutgers could have pulled that game out.
They choked,
but they I don't think they had any points. I think they had 2 points maybe in the last 5 minutes.
And Lamar Jackson has 1 playoff win in 3 years, and the 2 times that he lost, he got completely shut down by an okay Titans defense. So.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that to be us. I want to win playoff games.
Yeah. Yep.
Kansas is down by 19 right now against USC.
Oh my God.
Trevor Brenner must be going insane right now.
He's immaculate vibe. In the Brenner house. Immaculate vibes.
But nobody wanted to hear those excuses when Carson Wentz was the quarterback. That's what I'm saying. Nobody wanted to hear that when Carson Wentz was playing the quarterback position. And I don't care that Jalen Hurts is a rookie and Carson Wentz was in his 5th year. Because that hot garbage, no quarterback in the NFL could have done that. That's why Tom Brady left New England, because he had nothing around him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he joined a super team in Tampa.
Yep. I mean, to be fair to Jalen Hurts, that last game didn't mean anything.
Cullen,
He
is
got
the point? No. Is the point of the NFL to win most rushing yards in a season by a quarterback, or is the point to win a Super Bowl? It's to win a Super Bowl.
Team's going off.
I feel this. I feel this. This is what I've been feeling all weekend. This has been getting killed.
Yeah.
It's been getting killed. And I know Tom got killed by LSU today. That sucks.
Dude, everybody.
I don't think
Illinois got bounced out too. That was crazy.
We got a lot of Syracuse fandom at ATD. We're jumping up and down for that.
Willie Vegas, man. Willie Vegas. Syracuse fan.
Yeah, Colin. What does that prove? Like, you want to win a Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who did Lamar lose to in the second round of the playoffs this year?
Was it the Titans? No, it wasn't. Was it the Titans?
No, he finally beat the Titans.
Or no, that was when he lost last year, right?
Yeah. He lost to the Bills.
Against the Bills, yeah.
Yeah, he lost to the Bills.
They weren't going to beat the Bills. No way.
I mean, if you put competent people around him and competent coaching staff around him to fit what he does best, maybe he wouldn't have played that way.
Honestly, with that, for that comment, I do not think that it was the management saying we should just take Wentz out. I think it was more just the media and everyone talking about Hurts this and Hurts that. I feel like media played most part of Wentz's benching.
100%.
I really think it did. You can't tell me Jeffrey Lurie wanted to bench his franchise quarterback. I don't really know because that's how fucked up our organization is.
The moment they didn't draft either a depth offensive lineman or a Denzel Mims or a guy like the guy from Carolina. His name is escaping me right now. Had a shit ton of touchdowns this year. He had more touchdowns than Jalen Reagor, and he was a ball hawk on the defense. His name will come back to me. The moment you didn't draft a guy like that, and instead you draft a Jalen
receiver?
No, I'm talking about a corner from the Panthers. Chin. Thank you, Brian. Chin.
Jeremy Chin.
The moment you didn't draft a guy like that, and instead you drafted a guy that was basically just going to watch over Carson's back and Jalen Hurts, that was the moment you lost Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
And you could bash Carson all you want with the turnovers, with the not being able to lead the football team. You can't tell me that from week 1 up until the first Giants game that he wasn't trying his absolute hardest.
He was. I never put that against him. I knew he gave out 110%, and rightfully so when you have a roster like that. See, I wasn't always that Wentz hater guy. I was just mad when I seen that stuff, but you already know I started seeing it towards the end of the season. A little bit here and there. I knew that Carson Wentz had that shitty offensive line. I knew he didn't have any weapons. But I guess he was taking just too many risks, which in football, if you want to win, you take risks. But some of them were just dumb mistakes that could have been avoided.
That's the type of comments that trigger me. We don't win Super Bowl without Mr. Nice, overrated guy. How about that, Ray? How about instead of drafting number 19, you draft DK Metcalf? How about instead of drafting Jalen Reagor, you draft Justin Jefferson? How about instead of re-signing Alshon Jeffrey, who snaked Carson Wentz out, you re-sign a guy like Malcolm to lead your defense? How about that?
Yep.
It's just dumb shit like that. Just, and I still don't understand why we have to talk about the Carson Wentz thing. I just wanted to talk about Jalen Hurts. I just wanted to talk about the fact that we're doing all of this just for Jalen Hurts to be an experiment this year. That's what I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to talk about Wentz.
Mm.
But he didn't quit on us. They quit on him. They benched him. Like, I don't understand that. Like, am I missing something? How many guys put up 30 points against the Steelers this year? How many guys put up 30 points against the Ravens this year?
Not many.
Carson did.
He did.
In both games, he got fucked by his head coach.
Mm-hmm. Jordan Matthews. Wow.
Okay. And so did Carson. So what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the point?
Wow.
And then once we got that ring, Alshon wanted to keep Nick. And he started being the rat. It's just that simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I really hope that we see something coming out of this dark place we're in for the Eagles.
This
I really
comment
hope we see something. I think a good draft would just give us some hope. Give us some hope, Howie. Please don't fuck this up. Please.
How about this comment?
Please.
How about this comment? Do you agree with this comment?
Hurts will outplay Wentz this year. I don't think so. I really don't think so. With the offense, with the way that the Colts organization is run right now, they will not fail Carson Wentz. They have one of the top 3, if not the best offensive lines. Quentin Nelson's a beast. They have wide receivers, Pittman. They might add people to that during the draft, and they just have in their running game too. Like the running game complements a quarterback that people don't really see. And it's crazy because if you have a good running back, people just don't know what you're gonna do. You're gonna run or you're gonna pass. Like Carson, if you had that, like we had with Wentz, Blunt, and Ajayi, that was a great year. And that's
there's a difference between outplaying somebody, and there's a difference between a team rallying around somebody. Because he didn't outplay him. Because if you want to look at the numbers, Carson had better numbers than him. And he had better moments than him. I just laid out what Jalen Hurts' 4 games consistent of. I'm not going to say it again.
Wow.
He was leaving after the Packers. He got benched. He was the freaking face of the franchise, and you bench him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't bench anybody else on that team.
Yeah.
That just played absolute putrid, just terrible football, hot garbage.
Mm-hmm.
You bench the quarterback. I would have said I was leaving too if my franchise just quit on me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you bench him in the Packers game, you got quit on.
Mm-hmm. Wow. The Hurts fan will always go back to beating the mighty Saints. I mean, the only reason why we did beat the Saints, to be fair, was because they didn't have Drew Brees.
And there was no film on Jalen Hurts. And when you finally got game film on him, you need to contain the outside so he can't get off and run. And you need to cover up the first read. And then once you do that, he is a backup quarterback. And that is his ceiling. Unless he learns how to throw the football to the second, third, and fourth read.
Yep.
He was not pouting on the sidelines. He was next to Jalen the whole freaking time. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, are you complaining because he didn't talk to the media? He's not obligated to talk because he wasn't the starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Backups don't talk so much. Only in Philly the backups will talk much. Because that's all it ever is. There's always a controversy. So
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we've been talking about
number
19
and the Jordan Matthews over Devontae
I'm
Adams.
pretty sure we've talked about that in every single podcast we've ever had. We've always bring up number 19 in some sort of aspect of our Philly talk, but yeah, right. This draft can't come soon enough. I really want to see how bad how it can mess up, and I'll be there. So I'll know before 5 seconds before everybody else.
Yeah. Here's the thing about this draft. It's You get 4 picks in the first 100. You need to hit on all 4 of those picks. You have to. There's all 4 of those guys need to be solid starters this year. And if they aren't, you're screwed.
Yep.
Because those 4 guys are your future for the next 5 years until they get contracts. That's hilarious.
Jimmy didn't like that. Jimmy didn't like that at all.
Well, here's another thing. Do you draft Kyle Pitts just so that you don't have to sign Dallas Goedert? Because if you draft Kyle Pitts, you don't have to sign Dallas Goedert, and that's more money that you have at other positions. Now, I'm not saying that I agree, that I want to do that. That's just a hypothetical. And you got to think about the same thing for Miles Sanders.
Yep.
If you were to draft a guy like Travis Etienne or the guy from Alabama, Najee Harris.
Yep.
If you draft one of them in the second round, that means you don't have to sign Miles to an insane amount of money that I don't think he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
We got to start thinking about that.
This is what I think. I do think that we will re-sign Dallas when the time comes, but it wouldn't be if Dallas wants top 3 money. I really don't think they didn't do it with Ertz, which I don't think they would ever done because play like he did this year. But Kyle Pitts, he can play. He's gonna be able to play wide receiver, and he's gonna be able to play tight end. That's really what it's gonna be. So if you draft him this year, he's probably gonna play wide receiver. And if anything happens with Dallas, he'll be your tight end. But all that conversion, it's stupid.
Well, yeah.
After a while, it's stupid. You can't go from back. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the only reason why we draft Pitts, in my opinion. So,
well, we'll talk about this on shows to come. We have maybe 6 more shows until the draft.
Yep.
We'll definitely talk about. Do you draft guys like a Travis Etienne? Do you draft guys like a Kyle Pitts just so that you can save money on the cap, so that you can keep them on rookie contracts and let guys like Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders go, so that you don't have to sign them to money that you don't have?
Yeah,
you got to start thinking about shit like that too. Because as much as I don't like the idea of drafting a Kyle Pitts, it might be smart to do in the long run, just so that you don't have to sign Dallas Goedert. Colin,
God forbid if he doesn't pan out, then you're gonna have to go and pay money for. It's a risk. It's a risk because I feel like if you draft Chase, he'll be the guy. Not many wide receivers are bust when they're drafted in the top 10. So,
wow, USC is blowing out Kansas right now, 58-35.
They need Embiid.
Devontae Smith, I'd take Devontae Smith over Jamar Chase. Devontae Smith has been doing this for 4 years now. Tom said it, and Ryan said it on Monday Morning Quarterback earlier today. Devontae Smith has proven to play football, and he's going to get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of hinted that his ceiling could be a Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
And I would love to have Tyreek Hill on this team.
Yeah.
So, exactly. He could definitely put some weight on.
God, imagine if he was 205 pounds or something like that. That would be nice. Because you have players like Robbie Anderson who don't weigh that much and aren't built like D. Not every single wide receiver is going to be built like DK Metcalf, and just because some guy doesn't mean he's going to play as well as him. Robbie Anderson is a great wide receiver, and he has the same exact build as he's been compared to Smith. So just got to put that in perspective.
12 personnel. God, I hate 12 personnel so much. Do the Chiefs run 12 personnel? No. And they're going to be the best team in football over the next 8 years.
Yep.
Speed wins in this league unless you have a super team down there in Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have a super team where you have guys like Mike Evans, Godwin, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette,
Is
Tom Brady.
Antonio Brown still in the free agency market, or is he? He's probably gonna sign back with the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'll
Why
look it up.
not? Why
I'll
not?
look it
Go! Try to go get him. Try to go get Josh Gordon if he's.
up.
I mean, since smoking's illegal or it's legal in the league, why not just go try to get him? Why not? But I
Yeah,
don't think
they re-signed. They re-signed Chris Godwin, and I feel like they re-signed everybody. To be honest, they re-signed everybody on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
They re-signed Tom.
which that's very hard to do. That is a very well-ran organization because mostly when you see something like that, you saw after the Eagles, we still kept kind of like some of the few key players from the Super Bowl, but some of them like Trey Burton and the others who weren't getting as enough playing time and weren't getting enough money, they just leave.
Mhm.
That's usually what happens after they win a ring because that's usually they want to win a ring and then nothing else matters. They just want money at the end of the day. So
Antonio Brown is still a free agent.
okay,
I feel like we could add him to the soap opera. He'd fit right in.
we could. He would be great with the Philly media. Perfect match.
Hell, you could sign him for the cheap.
The fans would love him. Not gonna lie, the fans.
I'd love him.
I like him. I need sticky pads. I keep looking at this and this. I need sticky pads.
Yeah, I'm not in the
picture of Hurts.
I'm not in my attic tonight. I'm in a disclosed location. Yeah, it's been fun. We're obviously going to keep on doing more Sixers talk. The Phillies are fast approaching. The Flyers just got a point tonight. I really want them to make the playoffs. I really love playoff hockey.
I do too.
Like last year was so much fun. That was the best part of quarantine was the Flyers playoff run.
This definitely was. Yep. I remember I was all right. Also, give us a like and a subscribe while you're at it.
Yeah.
We'll probably be talking for like about one more minute. So make sure you like before we leave.
How many people we got on YouTube right now? We got 23 watching. If you haven't hit the like, please hit the like for us.
23. Good. But yeah, I remember last during the school season, I would go down to like some shitty TV down in the hall and watch like only half the screen work. So I was watching the Flyers game on half a screen. That was before I knew about like all the other stuff on like ESPN. But that just goes to show that I'm a dedicated fan.
Yeah. And the Phillies are 8 days away, so that means we'll have a heavy Philly show next week because we will be when we're on the air next week. It'll be one day before opening day, so heavy Philly shows next week. I'm actually maybe 2 days. I think they start on a Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, you got Aaron Nola starting off on the mound. Obviously, Phillies have been looking pretty good on both sides. So
we'll have a heavy Philly show next week. We'll definitely keep on talking Sixers because it'll be I think they'd have one more game left on the road trip. Maybe we'll do a live show if it approaches like that, a live Sixers show. Sixers schedule. I don't think they play on the Monday though.
Okay.
So I don't think we'll be able to do that. Yeah, no. Yeah. So they'll play the Nuggets on Tuesday. We'll have our show on Monday.
We'll probably do something on our Instagram if not, and then do something.
So Devontae Smith will either be a bust. Yeah. I feel like he could either be anywhere in between a Deshaun Jackson to a Tyreek Hill to a John Ross. I think it would be closer to a Tyreek Hill, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. So we'll talk more about that. We'll talk about who we want at the 6. We'll talk about the Sixers because by next week the trade deadline will be over. It'll be buyout time. So the roster may look completely different the next time we see you guys. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Philly Sports Passion, Cullen, Ray, even though we butted heads tonight. Thank you for the comments. R.I.P. to Elgin, the legend Baylor, by the way.
Yes, sir. Rest in peace.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Playoff Rondo, Brian, Lord Walker, Edward, all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
It's been
you.
a pleasure. We will see you guys next week.